Welcome to Manifesting Through Motherhood. I'm your host, Lindsay Williams, a self-development mentor, entrepreneur and author, dedicated to helping busy mums like you manifest success, balance and create passive income on your terms. With years of experience in mindset, manifestation, fitness, parenting and business growth, I share simple yet powerful strategies to help you transform your life without the overwhelm. If you're ready to up-level your mindset, build a thriving business and create the life you truly deserve, you're in the right place. You can also find all my books on Amazon, packed with tools to help you manifest and grow. So don't forget to follow the podcast to be updated on all new episodes. And let's get going. Welcome back, guys. How is everybody doing? So, a big topic that's come up for me this week is overthinking. I'm a massive overthinker, and a lot of my friends are, because a lot of my friends, I feel like if you're into manifesting, you've got a very busy ADHD type of a mind, and sometimes we can block it. So how do we get out of our head and back into our alignment? You might be listening to this, you might be folding the washing, you might be just sitting down, chilling, you're probably doing lots of housework if you're like me, or on the school run on the way back. Usually that's when I listen to podcasts. Usually got my AirPods in or listening on the car. But so many of you guys messaged me saying, I'm just struggling at the minute, I'm overthinking. I replay conversations over and over in my head. And it's one of those feelings where you've wondered if you said the wrong thing. Do you know when you have that anxious, that vulnerable feeling, you think something's going to happen, it's not happened yet. My cousin does this all the time. She messages me and I message her and I say, I just can't put my finger on it, because we are so in tune as manifestors that something's going to happen. And usually 9 times out of 10 something does happen. Or you've gone to bed exhausted, not from the day itself but from your thoughts. And these things can happen. Last week, because I did the paper, the blog Preston, I did the article, and then I did the TV appearance, I think I started to overthink a little bit about Harry. And I was thinking about his diagnosis, and because I've spoke about it more, it's made it even more real. And we had a one-to-one at school, a review, and then it made me realise how much he doesn't do for his age. What's his capabilities? What's the future? What does it hold for him and his life as an adult? Being independent, not being vulnerable. I was overthinking everything, and I just had a really quiet week, and a few people had said, you're really quiet this week. I think I just wanted a quiet week and just to reflect on everything, because it was a lot. It's overwhelming, because when you're talking about something personal, and I felt like I was just getting into my own head about things, and nobody really said anything at school, and I feel like, should I have posted it online? And, I'm not the only one with the child with additional needs, but I am the only one spreading awareness. So if you're not spreading awareness then for your child, then there's nothing I can do about that. It is rare. And if we don't test for genetics, then we don't know, because we could be searching for answers for years. There's that. The more we put into the system, the more people find answers, because our DNA is in there, and the more DNA that's in there, if everybody had the DNA in, from birth, I feel like we'd have a lot more answers to a lot more medical conditions, because there'd be something in the system, and they'd be able to screen every single day for it. And that's what they did. There's only 25 children in the world with Harrison's condition, and they put it all together. They've been able to see that change, and it's flagged up. And obviously at first they're getting used to it, they're looking at it before they give parents a diagnosis. And this is why the money goes into research for genetics, because it is about finding those answers for parents to help them, because it's hard to get on the system, it's hard to get a diagnosis, because they don't really know themselves, because you're looking light for a diagnosis. So sometimes you're not being dramatic, and you're not failing, because sometimes overthinking is part of life. So overthinking isn't a personality flaw. It's not just the way you are. Overthinking is usually a stress response. It's your nervous system trying to protect you by analysing everything, predicting outcomes, preventing pain, and keep in control. I overanalyze things. I preempt everything. I feel like it's just as I've got older, I always look at like the worst outcome. And if I get a better outcome, then I'm happy with that. And I don't know why I've got into that state. I think it is I never used to be like this before I had my son. I think it is becoming a parent, you do worry. We always worry about the worst outcome. Because I feel like if we prepare ourselves for the worst, that if it's better, then that's so much better. So it's really funny how our minds just work overdrive all the time. And as mums, especially mums that carry a lot, SEN parents, and those women that are always holding it together, our brains get very good at this. But here's the truth. Overthinking doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you tired. And most of the time, it keeps you stuck in your head instead of living your life. It's the overthinking loop, and you'll recognise this. Something small happens, a message feels off, someone doesn't reply, a tone feels different, you say something and later think, why did I say that? And then the loop starts. This might be you. You replay it, you personalise it, you imagine worst case scenarios, you question yourself, you spiral, and suddenly your entire mood has changed. And not because of what actually happened, but because of what your mind created. Most of our emotional exhaustion doesn't come from life. It comes from the stories we tell ourselves about life. And it doesn't help that we've got the online world to compare, to judge. We've got people talking to us about our fears. And then add the parent into the mix. Then we constantly worry. I always replay things in my mind. And sometimes it's when you wake up in the morning, and it's like when you've sent that message the night before or put something online and you want to delete it or get rid of it. This is our brain just going into overdrive, overthinking. But let's look at overthinking versus intuition. This is really important. Overthinking is loud, urgent and anxious. It feels tight in the body. It rushes you. But intuition is calm. It doesn't shout. It doesn't spiral. And if a thought makes you feel panicky, restless or frozen, that's not intuition. That's fear wearing a clever disguise. And not every thought deserves your attention. So how overthinking affects your energy and manifesting. Because that's what we're here for, to manifest, to live our best lives. But sometimes overthinking shadows the manifesting process. You know what? I always bring this back to energy. You don't manifest from your thoughts alone. You manifest from your emotional state. And this is looking at vibrations, looking at the last episode if you've not listened to that. If we're in a low vibration, we've really struggled to manifest because we might be overthinking. And it's like when we're looking at manifesting something really big, but then we start to overthink it. And then we start to shut down that process. The vibrations drop and the manifesting doesn't come through. So then we have to do it again and do it again. But then we sometimes have to do inner work and look at the overthinking. And that might be doing like listening to podcasts and having some talk therapy. Just journaling and having everything down. And overthinking keeps you in anxiety, lack, control and future fear. And this way, when we look at money mindset work, when we're overthinking our bills, our life, our business, our work, that's not a good flow and state. Manifesting doesn't like that. It likes us to be continuous. It doesn't like roadblocks. It doesn't like hurdles. Manifesting likes to just flow nicely. And that's how our vibration works. It just trickles lovely. And we just like to keep it going like a flowing river. You can't receive when you're constantly scanning for problems. Peace is a powerful frequency. Trust is a powerful frequency. And overthinking pulls you away from both. So let's look at gentle ways to stop overthinking. No forcing, no fixing. This isn't about just stop thinking, because that never works. These are gentle, realistic tools you can actually use. Number 1, name it. Say, this is overthinking, not truth. Naming it takes away its power. I do this. So I take note. Why am I thinking this way? Why am I overthinking it? But I take ownership of it because I know what it is. Number 2, come back into your body. Overthinking lives in your head. Peace lives in the body. Take a slow breath, put your feet on the floor, go for a short walk, or do a stretch. Ruffle your vibrations up. You don't need to solve the thought, and just ground yourself. Give yourself a minute. And number 3, ask one grounding question. Is this happening right now? Or is my mind projecting? And most of the time, it's not happening now. Number 4, give your mind a boundary. And you're allowed to say, I'm not thinking about this tonight. I'll revisit this tomorrow. I don't need to solve this right now. Boundaries aren't just for people. They're for thoughts too. And number 5, trust yourself more. You don't need to explain everything. You don't need to replay everything. And you don't need to get it perfect. You're allowed to move forward without constant self-analysis. When people come to me for business and they're like, I want to do a podcast, but I'm worried what people might think. I'm worried about, talking, what my voice is going to sound like. But if we don't do it, we're not going to try it, are we? If I'd have listened to my inner dialogue and my little inner voice, then I wouldn't have done my podcast. I wouldn't be here talking to you today. I wouldn't be rippling through your ears and having the feedback that I have been having lately. It's just, that's when I know that everything I do and I've done is because it's been aligned. What I've done, everything I'm looking in front of me, everything's manifesting. I love it because it's in alignment. It's obviously in alignment because I wouldn't be doing it. It feels good. I love manifesting. But sometimes manifesting does come with a price because you're diving deep into your body, into your mind. You have to open yourself up when you're manifesting. You have to understand life so much more. I struggle when I talk to people about manifesting and they haven't got a clue what it is. I'm like, of course you know what manifesting is. And they're like, explain it to me. And it's about wanting more from your life. And people say, well, how do I get more? How does this process work? I'm like, but it's about believing. You're not just where you are because where you are. I know so many people are stuck in the same jobs, stuck in the same rut and life and cycle. And I'm like, but you're overthinking it. Just pop out of it. Just start writing down some goals and like, well, what's a goal? And I'm like, a goal is something for you that you should want and need from your life. You might be at a position of your life and like, well, I always wanted to do this and I've always wanted to write a book and do a podcast. I've always wanted to set up my own business. Well, why are you waiting this long to do it? Who are you waiting for? No one's giving you permission. Well, like, how am I going to get here? And I'm like, we're going to get here by setting a goal. We're going to have some new rules. So if you want to start being really serious about it, we've got to get practical. We've got to start manifesting. We've got to start journaling, starting your gratitude. And the gratitude is going to raise your vibration. Because if we're not thankful and we're not opening ourselves out or being reflective, then we're not going to welcome it in. And we're not going to start moving. Because when you start setting a goal and the goal comes through, then we start to believe in manifesting. When you manifest that small thing, that small item, and it comes through, you just think, it's working. And you start believing then. It's giving you like a new faith to believe in. It's your faith, whatever you want to believe in, and who your higher self is. There is no right or wrong answer. I don't see anything. I just think as my guides, it's like my nan and my granddad. They're giving me something. Whoever else is who wants to join in. It's all positive. But it's about the overthinking. That gets in your way. Because we worry about what people are going to say about us. We worry we might be in a job and we think we can't really do that because I'm working for somebody. So there's always like scenarios that we take ourselves to. And it's the confidence. Like writing a book. People say, how did you write a book? I'm like, I just didn't think about it. I just wrote the book. And I got it proofread and edited. And then I published it. I didn't want to overthink it. And it is putting it out there. Obviously I went through so many different overthinking processes. Especially when you're putting a book out there. And even doing the podcast, I overthink it sometimes and think, what if people heard that on my podcast and then they might have took it the wrong way? I can't please everybody, can I? Everyone's going to have a different opinion of what I say. Because I'm not saying my thing's right. This is just why my brain is wired. This is just what I've been taught. So whatever I say on a podcast, obviously I'm respectful and nurturing. But it's just what I've been led to believe. It's everything that I've worked through, everything that's worked for me. It's all work. The proof is in the pudding, I always say. But it doesn't mean I don't overthink all the time. I'm still a parent. I still worry. It's funny, isn't it, how our brain, when with the more self-development work that we do, the more we overthink because we look at different scenarios. And we always worry about what other people think. It's funny that we always think, well, what will that person think? But why? They don't gatekeep us. But we do worry about the outside, any external factors, the outside world. Overthinking is just fear, asking for control. Manifesting begins when you choose trust instead. You don't need to think harder. You need to feel safer. And when the mind calms, manifestation moves. Your desires don't need constant monitoring to arrive. Overthinking is not intuition. Intuition is quiet. Manifestation flows when you stop micromanaging the outcome. And the moment you release control, alignment begins. You can't overthink your way into receiving. A busy mind doesn't mean block manifestation. It just means you need to rest. You're not failing at manifesting. You're just exhausted. And rest is not giving up. It's resetting your energy. We can be blocked. I get blocked in manifesting. I feel like, I've not got anywhere this week. We do get like that, don't we? And this isn't working. We've not actually achieved everything that I've wanted to achieve. But maybe we've overachieved and we're just overstimulated. Sometimes I just need a couple of days not thinking about anything, just doing what I'm doing, carrying on with life and my business. And then it seems to pick up again. And that's what it is. It's just believing. And then you kind of see the signs and you feel like everything's aligned and you're ready. But we do overthink life. I have so many voice note conversations with my friends about overthinking, and like we have days where we just feel like that, and then we're like 1 minute we're like high vibe, and then we come back down again because things happen in our life. We can't control it, and that's what it is just taking that control. And I always say journaling is the best for me. When I write things down, my husband says at night, "What are you writing?" And I'm like, I'm just writing everything down that's happened today. And then when I write it down, I think he knows. I mean, he doesn't do it. And I was like, why don't you journal? He's like, well, no, I have time to reflect and think about things. But I like to write it down on paper because it's brain dumping. It's just like fast acting, pen to paper, look at it, evaluate it, move on from it. And that's what we need to do. So if you're feeling like that this week, go and get some journals, planners. I've got plenty on Amazon. Start my book, Manifesting Through Motherhood. It's available on Amazon. Start it and watch yourself just shift. You just shift straight away. It's like a magnet. You start to just move forwards. And it's all right to overthink. It's just normal. We have a lot going on, a lot of stress. We have a job. Might have multiple jobs. Might be a carer. We've all got all sorts going on. I can name 100 things that my friends have got going on. And it's funny. We do like full circle. We do a month circle where we go back through and we talk about the same thing in a month's time. Because it's life, it just happens. But every time we go through the same cycle, we're equipped to go through another cycle and overthinking. Because that's learning, that's personal growth. If we don't do that, then we don't move forwards, do we? So, anyway, I'm going to leave it there for today. But before we end this episode, just take a moment with me. You don't need to sit in any special way. You don't need to clear your mind, just soften it. Take a slow breath in through your nose and exhale gently through your mouth. Again, in and out. If your mind feels busy, that's okay. You're not doing this wrong. Now bring your attention to your body. Feel where you're sitting. Feel the weight of you being supported. Let your shoulders drop, unclench your jaw, soften your brow. You don't need to hold everything together right now. If you've been overthinking, controlling, replaying or worrying, just imagine gently placing those thoughts down beside you. You can pick them up later, but for now, you're allowed to rest. Take another breath in, and as you exhale, silently say to yourself, I choose trust over tension. You don't need to figure everything out. You don't need to know the next step. Your job is not to force, it's to allow. Let yourself feel the truth of this. You're safe. You are supported. things are unfolding for you. Even when your mind is quiet, if there's something you're manifesting, you don't need to visualize it clearly. Just feel the relief of knowing, and it's already in motion. Stay here for one more breath, in and out. And when you're ready, gently bring your awareness back. And carry this calm with you today. You don't have to rush, you don't have to overthink, and trust is enough. And I'll leave it there. Great day, and I'll speak to you on the next episode. Bye for now. If you're feeling called to go deeper, to align more, create more, and really step into that next version of you, you'll find everything you need in my Linktree. From my book, Manifesting Through Motherhood, to powerful resources and ways we can work together, it's all there waiting for you. Come and find me on Instagram or Facebook. I love hearing what landed with you. Don't forget to follow the podcast, and if this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who is on their own journey too. And happy manifesting.